welcome to another DCU Daily. Here we are. We're here. We got end of the week. We're here to talk about all sorts of stuff. And what is that stuff? Well, let me just tell you. We're here to talk about, obviously, we're going to have some new stuff to talk about. We're going to be talking about mainly box office projections for this coming week in terms of Smashing Machine and the Avatar Way of Water re-release, as well as the Woman of the Hour, Taylor Swift. Sure, so many people are going to be happy to talk about that. And then, of course, we have another hot take debate. And then we have our quick hits, of course, and then our DC news. Talk about Punisher, a certain Punisher star wants to be a certain someone in the DCU. And then, of course, we have so many other quick hits for DC, Supergirl, Constantine, all that fun stuff. And then Peacemaker on what the season finale will hold ahead of us. But all of that and more right now. So let's get into it and let us know that we are in fact enough.
It doesn't seem to matter what I do. I'm always the number two.
All right, mister, I need to paint my abs on to get nominated. You don't see Robert Downey doing that.
You're kidding.
You're
kidding. I can't open the envelope without the...
Warner Brothers is heading back into the Matrix with a new movie in the works.
Wonder what other surprises are in store.
I want to be Bruce Wayne.
I like that. And you're gonna love me.
There's the shot right there. That.
Okay, we don't need to see chorus.
Right there.
You look ridiculous.
Well, not no more, he don't.
What, dude? I can barely understand you. Your accent's insane.
What the
Give me a hand up. Nope, I'm actually okay. Thank you very much. Oh, wow. Wow.
And I forgot to turn off the music. Oh, we're just on a wonderful thing going on here. So let's get that wonderful little ticker there. Anyway, so let us truly get into the news, but let's see who is in the chat. Monique and Caleb. Caleb being early today. Yay, it's so wonderful to see you. But John, nice to see you. I'm here. Boom. There we go. But Dan is going to come in a little bit later, but we are here to talk about all sorts of news stuff. Not a ton of news, just mainly box office stuff. With the biggest thing, the most smashing box office record, I don't know, whatever. Smashing Machine, here we go. But we do, in fact, have a lot going on this weekend. But Smashing Machine grapples at 850,000 in previews, and Avatar Way of Water re-released before the third film Fire and Ash comes out this December. Apparently made 350,000 in previews before the beginning of the end for the Swifties to come in and kill us all. But the Smashing Machine, as it says here, it made 150,000 not just from this past week, this past Thursday, but in terms of IMAX screenings the week prior. So, while Taylor Swift seems to be reigning supreme, and we're going to get into that soon enough, with north of $30 million, Smashing Machine is unfortunately bound to hit the mat with $9 to $12 million, while Avatar 2 is looking at low single digits, which makes more sense because it's a re-release and nobody gives a flying fuck about Avatar. So, there is that. But I will say this, now I can't really comment on, Avatar. Well, I mean, I can technically talk about Avatar 2 because it kind of sucked, but Smashing Machine, I did see that today, and we might do a formal review sometime next week, but is that a threat? Anyway, but Smashing Machine I did see today, and it's not like bad or anything. It's not like a lot of people are saying, oh, the movie sucks, the only thing good about it is The Rock, the movie's boring, it's terrible. I saw it. and it was actually pretty good. Like the whole kit and caboodle, I thought The Rock was damn good. Okay. I thought The Rock was damn good, and the rest of the movie, it does start off pretty slow in the first half, second half picks up, and the third act was excellent. So, just like a kind of quick thoughts on that, but we will be hopefully getting into spoilers and such next week, but it's neither here nor there. But in regards to the Smashing Machine, now with this, it's going to make under 15 million, which is a bit of a shame, but it's smaller A24 movie. So that's kind of par for the course a bit. So, we just kind of have to live with that. Now, the budget was about $50 million, so it'll probably eventually get its money back, but it's still, it's still good to see, and it'll probably just take a couple weekends and it'll probably make its money back. And I don't know if it'll be a huge profit or anything, but we'll just have to wait and see. But kind of shame. Hopefully it's gets maybe some Oscar nominations or Golden Globe nominations. But hello, Patrick, nice to see you. But the next thing we have is Smashing Machine related, but not necessarily about the box office. But while at the LA premiere for the biopic, Dwayne Johnson has explained that the Smashing Machine is not really a fighting movie. It's not really a wrestling movie or a all about the fighting parts. It's about Mark Kerr and how he deals with life and the man he was and that kind of thing. So I thought that was quite interesting. But Dwayne Johnson was saying that Dwayne Johnson brings UFC legend Mark Kerr's life to the big screen with the Smashing Machine striding the line of lover and fighter. He had this to say: fighting just happened to be what he did, and he was awesome at it. But it's not a fight movie. It's a life movie. It's set in late 90s, early 2000. But it's about how, he struggles, kind of what a lot of people during this time, well, during like hot streaks and like things they do in their lifetime in terms of the arts, overdoses and painkillers and addictions and all that stuff. But he had this to say further: Mark Kerr's life represents so much of everyone around the world, but not, he's the greatest fighter on the planet, but more so, he struggled with pressure and how to deal with pressure. And he struggled with pain, and he struggled with how to deal with the addiction, and he got hit hard. At one point, he was the greatest fighter on the planet, and then he lost, and he had a hard time reconciling with that loss. And that is showcased very well in the film. Imagine thinking you were the greatest thing ever, and then it all kind of comes crumbling down, unfortunately. Now, it's kind of a sad thing to deal with, but like the way it was showcased in the film was very well done. And I think The Rock and company did manage to portray this person in a reasonably good way, but in terms of quality, at least, of the film. But next up, in terms of other things, apparently James Cameron has suggested that Avatar 4 and 5 aren't guaranteed. Thank fucking Christ. Reveals Fire and Ash's mammoth runtime. Let me guess. I'm going to say it's 4 hours and 15 minutes. And I'm not joking there. I'm actually guessing that it's over 4 hours. But he was saying that, it's Avatar boasted 162-minute runtime way back when, and then 192 minutes a couple of years ago for The Way of Water. And then, of course, Avatar Fire and Ash will be similarly long with an expected 3-hour runtime. Okay, so maybe not as long as I thought, but I thought it was going to go. I wouldn't be shocked if 4 or 5 go into the 4-hour territory. So we'll see. what Cameron explained, that he went back and added scenes to the movie of Jake reuniting with his torque from the first movie that ended up having an impact on how long the movie is. The torque didn't exist in Fire and Ash, and he's got to get the bird. Come on, I was saving it for later. I was like, fuck that. He should get the bird, get the torque. There's something in Jake's destiny that requires it, right? So I just rewrote it, and we went back and we shot 2 or 3 scenes around that concept, and I threw some stuff out and stuck that in, and we're at 3 hours. Big surprise, but it worked beautifully, and the actors were super excited about that idea. It's like, oh, okay, that feels right, you know? So it's not set in stone. It's a constantly evolving creative process, and that's what keeps you vigorous and engaged. And in regards to a guarantee of another movie, big swing in all this, do we make any money with Avatar 3? I mean, we'll make some money. I mean, the other two at least made $2 billion, so it's going to make at least $1 billion, probably. But the question is, what kind of a profit margin, if any, is there, and how much of an inducement is that to continue on in this universe? Or maybe we wait until we figure out how to bring the costs down, because there's production costs, VFX, all that stuff, and spiraling with post-COVID and all that stuff. So he's saying that 2 and 3 tell one big story, and that 4 and 5 tell one big story. I imagine what James Cameron wanted to do is that he wanted to make a trilogy, but then essentially Avatar 2 branched off into 2 and 3, and then Avatar 3 branched off into 4 and 5. That's what I'm guessing, the way he's talking about it here. But so there is a 4th dated for 2029, and the 5th, the final chapter set for 2031. Although obviously things are not set in stone, as we know from Blade. But yeah, it's, you know, it's insane. I agree with Caleb. I'm gonna say this: if Avatar 3, Avatar Fire and Ash isn't like at least like a solid 8 out of 10, I'm done with this franchise. I gave the first one a chance, and then you have one more chance. You have a second chance, and that's it. I'm done. Like 3 strikes, you're out. Because I love the first one when it came out, but looking back, it's really not that great. And then the second one was literally just the same movie fucking over again with more bullshit and more dumb writing. And then, you know, there's that. So it's just like, ugh, I'm just so sick of this franchise. And I get that people like it because of style, but it's just like, it's just fun going with really good effects. It was like, bruh, you made fucking some of the greatest movies of all time in the 80s and 90s. Why the fuck are you stuck making this shit? It's like, dude, come on. And I agree. I care for Simpsons movie, the second Simpsons movie, more than another Avatar movie. I know the Simpsons have sucked for years, but hey, when the first movie came out, the Simpsons had sucked for years. And apparently that some people say that, you know, the past few seasons of The Simpsons have actually been somewhat decent. So, you know, maybe that's something, but I don't know. I don't friggin' know, and I don't friggin' care. So, you know, I'm just so done with this shit. Anyway, so now we move on to the shit I really don't want to fucking talk about, but I have to talk about it because it's my job. So, Taylor Swift, Vigilante is probably going to be very happy with that thumbnail, but Taylor Swift Showgirl struts to a $29 to $31 million opening. The Smashing Machine hits the mat with a $6 to $7 million projection, while One Battle After Another heads to $100 million worldwide box office. So there is that. But in terms of the next big theatrical release, this is probably going to make 29, 31 million. And it's funny, when I was coming out of Smashing Machine, a couple of the workers were talking about like, oh God, how do we plan for the fucking Swifties that are going to take over this goddamn theater? Because they were talking about the trash cans that you'll need so people throw their stuff out. And it's just like, he's like, how many trash cans are we going to need? He's like, we're probably going to fucking need all of them, bro. So that was really funny. I wouldn't say, like, here's the thing about Taylor Swift. She seems like a nice person. She seems happy now with Mr., Taylor Swift. And her music isn't, like, horrible by any. It's just, like, generic pop music, which is fine. But the fact that, like, people go that fucking insane for it is just an anomaly to me. But hey, people went that insane over the Beatles or Michael Jackson. But the thing is, the Beatles and Michael Jackson at the time were like great and innovative. She's just, all the people before her made the same kind of music, and she's not really innovating it, but kind of just doing her own spin, which isn't like horrible by any means, but it's just like just an anomaly to me. But again, I'm sure if I was around in the 60s, and I'd be like, what's up with these Beatles? Why do people go crazy over them? So I'm sure we would do the same thing there. Yeah, with that money she's fucking making. I mean, yeah, I mean, the 90s, I think the 90s were pretty good because you did have like alternative and grunge, and you had Nirvana, Soundgarden, and you had all these like really like punk and alternative bands and all that. So there's that. So, I don't think music ended. It's just like we're kind of in a stale place. But like the thing is, it's popular music. If you want to find you got to go into the deep nitty gritty to find the stuff you like. Like you got to go to like a person's like SoundCloud or Spotify to find the stuff you like, because there's still great music being played. It's just like it's not the shit being played on the radio. It's the shit you gotta find, So that's just my thoughts. If people are happy listening to Taylor Swift, that's fine. That's no skin off my nose. If you enjoy it, cool. Just don't be fucking psychopaths about it. Like, Jesus Christ. No, yeah, same here. I'm with you there. But if people enjoy it, who am I to fucking yuck someone's yum? But apparently Swifties from Melbourne to London celebrate Taylor Swift's The Life of a Showgirl album launch ahead of today's official release party film debut. So, Taylor Swift has officially launched her 12th studio album, Life of a Showgirl, last night, sparking global celebrations with her famously chill and low-key fans gathering in places like Australia, Germany, London, and Los Angeles for the big release. And then of course, as we were just talking about, the accompanying film is being released in AMC cinemas today, October 3rd. So, happy for them. Great. Cool. Eagles and Steely Dan. I'm mainly getting into metal. I'm like starting to really get into metal stuff. Like I have like the obvious choices, like, like Ozzy and stuff like that, Metallica, but I'm trying to like find like outer rims of that. I know my friend really likes Ghost, and from the few songs I've heard, they sound pretty good, even though like a lot of people claim they're not real metal, but that's beside the point. But neither here nor there. But yeah, woohoo! I'm happy that the Swifties are happy. Just calm down a bit, like Jesus Christ. But hey, it's wild that Taylor Swift is gonna more than triple the next two biggest movies at the box office this weekend. But hey, good on Tay and AMC. Yeah, luckily I went to see the Smashing Machine at like in the middle of the workday, so I didn't have to deal with like any crazy fans at that. So no, I'm not calling her that. But I think that definitely saved my ass. And then the next movie I'm going to see is Good Boy, hopefully on Sunday, but it's really late at night. So I'm going to be, so hopefully that'll be way after all those screenings. And then I can, not like anything bad. It's just like it would be like Barbenheimer levels of crazy. So, Clash Ramones, but I'm like, yes, we know Halloween because apparently they're the greatest band on Nazi Earth. So there is that next to the Beatles, spelled Beetles. So there's that. Yeah, I like New Wave. New Wave is pretty good. Yes, by the way, we were a little bit late on the new tier list Tuesday poll. We're going to be showing it at the end of the show. So if you guys want to vote on that, you guys can open a new tab, clickety-clack, clickety-clickety-clickety-clack, and go into that and vote for your new tier list stuff. So for next week's tier list, and we got some interesting stuff there. So there is that. But yes, so now we have to get into the next big thing, which is in fact hot take debate. And this time I will remember to do the intro. So let's hit the hot take debate intro and get into that.
Who is that?
Retarded.
Retired. I'm already in the void. I'm not trying to get canceled again.
I don't like you.
And when you take on the responsibility, great power will come.
Chicks dig the car.
This is why Superman works alone.
Black rubber.
Ooh, you nasty, mon beau rouge. Les éléments temps relais, hein?
Not a single word.
You bring your scarred psyche.
I'm about to make a name for myself here.
Pathetic. Psychopath.
Taking attention.
You were just leaving.
Oh, no. Nobody. No!
Here we are. We're here to talk about hot take debate. Yes, when you have responsibility, great power will come. Does he know? Does he know? Anyway, but now we get into the hottest of the takes. Here we are. Hot take debate. We have a couple. We don't have a ton, but we have a couple. But actually, I think I might have grabbed the wrong one again. I did grab the wrong one.
Dang it.
I grabbed the fucking wrong one again because we have the same shit over again, but I am going to get it, but it's going to process for a bit because, it's uploading now. So
do you have any new hot takes? Do you have any new hot takes to share? No? Okay.
Hot take.
I think Taylor Swift's new album is a good thing for the movies.
Sure.
Is that a hot take? No?
I think hot take The Shining sucks. I don't know. That's the only one. I'm going to say A Christmas Story sucks. Worst Christmas movie ever made. Boom. There we go. Hot take.
I thought the Santa Claus movies were actually good. Always.
But yes. So now let's get into the proper hottest of takes of debates. But yeah, first one. Yep. Ron saying, I love Bond, but no one is better than Batman. I mean, they're two very different heroes. Yeah, they have surface level, they have gadgets, they get women and they fight crime, but one is a spy, one is a superhero detective scientist. And at least he started out that way. And Batman is a hero. A lot of people don't seem to understand that James Bond is an anti-hero. He's not a true the whole basis of James Bond is that he's a piece of shit. He's a relic from the Cold War. That's he's even at the time, he was a relic. He was this old school, he was addicted to drugs and alcohol and hated women. And at least in the books, obviously it had to be sanitized for the movies, but even in the movies, he's an anti-hero. It's comparing Batman to Bond is like comparing Superman to the Punisher. It's just it doesn't work. It's just they're so very different. Yes, I did talk about that when we did Tier List Tuesday this week, but it's just it's just apples and oranges. So it's just like I feel like I can't really talk about this because like I like James Bond and I like Batman, but they're two very different characters.
I can make the
So
argument
just
that
like
Batman's also an anti-hero in a lot of ways, right? Because
no. The thing is, a lot of people, oh, Batman's anti. The man literally has a code of ethics. Like, he refuses to kill people. Like, that's not an anti-hero behavior. Yeah,
Not the
he's
version
very
we watched in the
brutal in some
DCU.
versions, but like he still has like a lot of people say that Superman is like a lawful good when someone actually made the argument that Batman is really the lawful good. He's like very compassionate to kids. He's very compassionate to his family, but he has a certain code of ethics. He has a lot of morality in regards to what he does. Batman is technically a lawful good, and I would say Superman's more of like a neutral good, where he does just anything that's right, and if that right is to break down systematic corruptions, then he could do that, whether as Clark Kent or as Superman, like journalistic kind of things. But like, I don't think like Batman is an like if you want to see an anti-hero Batman, you go with Jean-Paul Valley in the Nightfall arc. Like, that's essentially what anti-hero Batman looks like, because he killed people, he was an asshole, he was fucking mentally ill. So that's really what anti-hero Batman is. Batman, I don't think, is an sure, maybe he has some sensibilities in some eras during runs and arcs by certain writers, but I think for the most part, he's not really an anti-hero. I don't think he fits into the, like, anti-hero is like right on the cusp of like being a villain, hence why they're an anti-hero. Like Punisher is like genuinely just a villain, but he just kills what he deems to be corrupt people. So I don't know. Just that's my thoughts on it. I don't think Batman is really an anti-hero. I think he's a true blue hero. It just has a different way of doing things than other certain heroes. So yes, as we all know. No. Why did you say that name, Caleb? Why did you say that name?
Martha's not gonna die tonight, Caleb.
Why would you voice it like that? Anyway, but I will say, in terms of like, I love Batman, I love Bond, but for very different reasons. I feel like I just like in my head, I can't compare them. If you like Batman more than Bond, yeah, that's awesome. That's great. I would say if I had to choose, I would probably pick Batman, but like it's just like different strokes for different folks type stuff, you know? Like it's just kind of that. And it's, just different. And that's not a bad thing, because they're two very different heroes. Well, two different characters, because one's a hero, one's an anti-hero. So, there is that. But I don't know if this is a hot take, because usually Batman is more easily accepted. I think even in Britain, he's more easily accepted than Bond is. But I could be totally bullshitting on that. But yeah.
That's fair. I mean, Batman has more wide appeal, but I mean, it's also James Bond
appeal,
has been
which
around
is
forever. So come on,
right?
Well, both characters, but yeah.
Right. Yeah, Bond is Bond and Batman is Batman. So, thanks, Watcher. Next hot take. We did talk about this yesterday, but Dan is here to talk about it more. So, James didn't have a clear path for the DCU from the beginning. I was talking about this yesterday, and Dan, you can let us know your thoughts about this as well. But I think he did have a clear path, but it just was not the path that Zaslav was looking at, and he needed to appeal to certain people. That's why the announcement happened. But I feel like James Gunn from the beginning is like, we're not going to do a movie unless we have a good script, and we are not going to give a release date until it is greenlit, and that's only greenlit when we have a good script. So I think he was like wrestling with a couple different ideas in terms of like what he was going to do for sure. Like Superman was definitely going to happen because he was writing and directing that, so that was definitely going to happen. and then everything else was kind of hazy. Same with the most of the shows as well, like the two for sure things that were going to happen were Creature Commandos and Superman, because those were the first two projects of the DCU, because those were headed by him. So
I think the problem was James Gunn had some ideas, and when he got offered the job, he was pitching the Superman movie script. So they had, I mean, I think they had a plan, but it's not clearly, like, it was more high level than we were led to believe, because James Gunn is no stranger to overhyping stuff, talking about how Peacemaker is a sequel to Superman and literally leads into Man of Tomorrow, but then also saying you don't need to watch it to watch Man of Tomorrow, trying to keep the separation a little bit. So, I mean, and he's mentioned that, things have been changing, that fast track Wonder Woman. So I think it's the truth is somewhere in the middle, and which is fine because, things change. It's just, I think like his emphasis on I'm not going to do anything until, the script is good and ready also kind of gets in the way. It's just, yeah, I just wish the PR side of things they've handled a little bit better. That's all. But yeah, I don't know if clear path is the best way to put it. He had a path. There were a lot of undefined things that are changing.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
That was, again, it was to appeal to stockholders and the board of directors.
Exactly.
Than
that was a
anything
marketing
else.
move. Right.
Yeah, marketing
and then I think
as well.
Clearly they realized that today's box office doesn't support as much experimentation as that initial plan, so they're trying to bring in more of the bigger characters, which makes sense.
That's why I think a lot of stuff is going to be designated to TV. Like he kind of hinted that that's where the Authority was going, because like TV is so experimental nowadays. Like just look at like what we deem the best of the streaming service. What they offer is Apple. And like you have such different stuff, like Foundation is so different from The Morning Show, and The Morning Show is so different from Severance, and Severance is so different from For All Mankind. Like, and For All Mankind is different from Slow Horses. Like they're all so different, and that's just one streaming service, and you're gonna find so much different stuff on Netflix and that, and but though I'm talking about high quality. Because Disney Plus usually has a bunch of samey kind of stuff. Like they have like, Marvel and Star Wars and then like a couple other things, but it's mainly that. So it's just, it's just, you can do all those weird, like if Severance was a movie, like I couldn't even like imagine it. One, because it's not made for that, but even then it's just like so weird and so experimental that you couldn't really do that as a movie. And I feel like The Authority, you can't really do that as a movie. I mean, you could, but it would probably crash and burn. And look at The Boys, and people view that as very similar things, even though kind of not really, but that's like kind of what they folded into a little bit. And that's what James Gunn discussed when trying to get the movie off the ground. So you can't really experiment in the movies anymore, so you have to have like more of the true blue stuff. And the thing is, there is a little bit of experimentation in terms of how to do the genres, because like you can do a horror movie, and the thing is, it's just like a horror movie that just so happens to be part of the DC, like Clayface and eventually Swamp Thing if we get there. But like I feel like you can experiment with genres, just not storylines within those genres. Like obviously James Gunn is like trying to have a greater net of like fans and not have them do homework and all of that. And you have like all these strange like kind of things that James Gunn is trying to bring into everything, but again, it's from a genre point of view, because like a horror movie, it's essentially like, look at Clayface, The Substance, boom, there we go. They've already kind of done that idea. They've kind of done body horror ideas. People like those movies. They go to see those movies, and sure, they might be strange and experimental to like maybe the most casual people, but like at the same time, there is the idea that like superhero movies are not just superhero movies, they're comic book movies, and you can like play around with genres in that. And I think that's what James Gunn is trying to do, keyword being try. And I think that'll work because you're just doing stuff that's already popular at the bottom. That's what I'm trying to say, is the stuff that's already popular. James Gunn is just bringing that into the comic book movie sphere. Like, okay, this body horror movie, that would have done well on its own, but it just so happens we're doing it in the DCU. Or, like, we're doing this thing, but we're bringing it into the DCU. These things would have been popular otherwise, but now James Gunn's bringing it to the DCU, so hopefully we can have, like, this greater stretch, no pun intended, greater stretch of genres under one roof. So I think that's, you know, also something as well. And the Watcher, but the Watcher also said Gunn said he always had a plan, and the plan he had is still the overarching plan, but other writers I pitched such good ideas that he has to bend some of the original way he planned it. Yeah, exactly. So, you know, there's that as well. Also, hello, Tony. Nice to see you. But yeah, that's it for the most part in terms of the clear path. I don't know if you have anything else to add, Dan, but that's kind of, I kind of went filibustery. I apologize for that.
I think that's yeah. Hi, Tony. Yeah, I think we're good there.
But yeah, then now we have one more. Ron, again, George Clooney would have been the perfect 90s Iron Man. I can see it. Him and like Tom Cruise, I think would have been really good Iron Men. Because I know Tom Cruise was attached at one point, but like what he wanted versus what like they wanted was very different. But honestly, I could see it. Like, give him the little teeny tiny mustache and that, you know, Tony Stark has. Because originally he just had a mustache, and then I think he got the goatee. But yeah, I think George Clooney, again, because it's like both Bruce Wayne and Tony Stark are the billionaire playboy philanthropist douchebags. It's just that Tony Stark doesn't have an off button, so he's just that all the time. Honestly, George Clooney probably would have fit Iron Man better than Batman, because I can't, even nowadays, now that he's grown as an actor, he under a better direction, or what Joel Schumacher wanted to do, and without WB having their hand in the cookie jar, I'm sure he could have done good things with that. But I don't really see George Clooney as like intimidating. He's just too charismatic, and I feel like that would have fit Iron Man, because Tony Stark is essentially just Bruce Wayne, the foe of Bruce Wayne all the time, like the exaggerated Christian Bale version of like, I'm rich, I always have a lady on my shoulder, I always have, you know, I'm always acting like a douchebag kind of stuff. So yeah, but I do think that George Clooney would have been a better Iron Man than your boy Batman Bruce Wayne. Yeah, George Clooney saying would have had the Tony Stark down. Just don't see him as an inventor. Brains as much, not stupid, but by any means, but just better in his bank heist, out of sight, ocean left. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that as well. Like, he's more of like a leader kind of thing rather than big brained boy. But in terms of doing that, I think. But in terms of the two characters, he would have fit Tony Stark more. Maybe not sold the genius aspect of it all, but he would have sold that part more. But yeah, I think he would have killed it. But that's neither here nor there. And we'll be getting into that Watcher. We're going to be getting into that much later. But that is it for Hot Take Debate. Thank you all for your wonderful hot takes. We do still have the post up, so we're going to try and refresh that more. But we're going to keep refreshing that. We're going to keep doing that and try to, you know, have more hot take debates in the future. But that's it for now. And now we move on to something a little bit quicker. It's quick hits. That's the quick hits. So we're going to be getting to quick hits now. Very exciting. But let's truly get into this. And it does start with something DC related. And that is your boy, David Corenswet. But David Corenswet's new role, modeling for Banana Republic with a dog. So, boom. This is awesome to see. Loving your boy getting more ideas and things because, you know, yeah, it's a modeling gig, but I think it's awesome. And absolutely love it. Woohoo! But he has touched down in San Francisco for a scenic photo shoot that finds him wearing pieces from the fashion brand's October edit as if they were made for my purposes. So yeah, looking good. Oof, there he is. Look at all these wonderful, gorgeous pictures. Like, I know, like, the man, he's not Henry Cavill, blah, 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 but, like, the man is still fucking good looking. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, look at that. Look at that. That's a walking green flag if I've ever seen one right there. Anyway. But, awesome. Love to see it. Hell yeah. Thanks, David Corenswet.
He's super, man.
He's pretty super, man. I feel fantastic. Thor? I don't know. He's pretty super, man.
Yeah, he was probably. Yeah, he definitely was smuggling some bananas in those trunks.
God damn it, dude. Why are you gotta be gross? Anyway, now we move on to the next thing, and that's this. We talked about this, I think, yesterday, but NBC Universal and Google reached deal for YouTube TV and other platforms. Dan, I don't know if you had any thoughts about this, but
I mean,
me and
they finally got a deal. You know, like it wasn't going to be long, but it's across YouTube TV and
plenty
YouTube,
of people.
so,
Plenty of people, Monique.
Yeah, the biggest thing I saw here is NBC Universal is relaunching a new NBC Sports Network. So they shut down the previous NBCSN a while ago, and now they're bringing it back. So that to me is interesting. I'll be watching that because they got NBA now and all these other, you know, college football rights. So yeah, good on NBC Universal. That I mean, all of that will be available on Google, well, YouTube and YouTube TV. So cool.
Yeah, love to see it. Glad that there's not going to be a blackout of sorts. But next up, speaking of ending news rotation stuff, HBO Max and CNN 24/7 live stream ahead of new solo streamer launch, but apparently, you know, the CNN Max live stream will no longer be available on HBO Max in the US beginning November 17th. So they will, you know, they'll continue to stream CNN originals, but they're going to start its own streamer.
It's like the ESPN app. They're doing it their own CNN app, so they're like, we don't want to cannibalize ourselves by having a live CNN on HBO Max. Makes sense.
Yeah. Cool. I guess. I don't know. I don't really care. What I do care about is Pretty Ladies, and Haley Steinfeld is definitely one of them. She has recently talked about her Marvel and Spider-Verse future and how fans awkwardly quote sinners to her in public. It can get weird fast. Yeah, a lot of quotes from that movie quoting to someone in public is an uncomfortable situation. But this infamous line, yeah, I would just say, like, people don't say that I would say don't say that to anyone, but especially not a woman on the street you don't know. So it's just like, please don't say that. Oh, it did start today. Okay, interesting. But yeah, don't be fucking saying that shit to anybody, like, on the street you don't know. Honestly, like, I wouldn't be shocked if one of those people was Shamik Moore. So, you know, but yeah, don't say that. Anywho,
you know how they say it: when with great responsibility, great power will come.
Yeah, sure. Anyway, Jason Bateman in talks to direct Universal feature take on John Grisham's The Partner with Tom Holland. Ryback and Aggregate producing. Now, I don't think it's that Tom Holland. I think it's Tom Holland as in like the director of Fright Night, because I can't imagine that.
Thomas B. Holland. Sorry, that's a different. Never mind.
Okay, it might be the same. I don't know. We'll circle back on that. But cool. Jason Bateman I don't think he's directed anything yet. I don't know.
Doesn't he have a show on Netflix right now? Is it Black Rabbit? That I don't know if
isn't like Jude Law in that or something?
Yeah. Jude Law and Jason Bateman.
But yeah, very cool. Way to go, Mr. Bateman. Still gave us the best Batman movie of all time through a State Farm's commercial. So, Anyway, but very cool. Very cool to see. But Scrubs reboot apparently adds nine to the cast, including Vanessa Bayer and Joel Kim Booster, and they have Robert Machio and Phil Lewis returning. Yeah.
I don't care about anybody else, but Mr. Mosby. Mr. Mosby's back. That's all that matters to me.
Indeed. Mr. Mosby is pretty good. Didn't he go to prison or something? I think didn't he like...
Wait, Phil Lewis? Really?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, okay, cool. All right.
No, he was charged with manslaughter while driving intoxicated. That's what it was. I remember reading about that.
Wow.
He had to serve 2 years probation after his release and 350 hours of community service. And sentenced to 5 years in prison. So, whoopsie-daisies. Anyway, let's get out of this weird hole. Adam Driver, the DCU Italian Stallion, apparently, and Anne Hathaway to star in military drama Alone at Dawn from Ron Howard, an Amazon MGM studio. So Ron Howard is still trying to make his next greatest movie, even though he hasn't really made a great movie in like 12 years. But, he's trying.
Look,
he's
as
trying,
long as it doesn't include a tribute to his late cousin, I'm fine. Sorry, that's a studio reference.
Oh.
Never mind.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. But I know Elite Easy is very, very happy about this news because they love Adam Driver. Love Vandal Savage. That would have been good too. I didn't think of that, but yeah, Adam Driver, good. Anne Hathaway, vampire, because the bitch has not fucking aged in like 20 years. So, I wish the best for Ron Howard. Anyway, Invisible Man star Elizabeth Moss shares a positive update on the potential sequel. Apparently, Lee Wannell is working on it. So, yeah, we might be getting an Invisible Man 2 in the near future. However, who knows if that's going to get any leeway, or if it's, it's not going to be as good as the first, because the first was like a cultural phenomenon for a hot sec, but I don't know if they'll ever be able to recapture that. So, we'll see. Dan, I don't know if you've seen this or care about this, but I hope it's good.
It's good. They're not starting work on it yet. She's just like, she's hopeful. The director wasn't interested in it, but the star is, so maybe the studio will be like, sure, we'll bring somebody else in, I guess. I don't know. It's a good movie.
Speaking of good movies, maybe New Line in final talks with Michael Blanchard to direct Final Destination 7. But after, Final Destination Bloodlines went absolutely insane for this past movie, as well as Tony Todd having a nice send-off, well, they're like, this made money, so we gotta make another one. So, congrats, I guess. Cool. I don't know if you care about this, but I don't.
No, I mean, hey, it made money. Sure, why not? I mean,
there you go.
After the last movie made that much money, there's no way they were not going to make a sequel. So
cool. Oh yeah, of course. But I know like people like fans of Tony Todd are like, oh my god, how can you make another one after he said goodbye? It's like, bro, he was like infinitesimal in this franchise. He had a bit part in each movie except for 3 and 4. So it's like, calm down. He's not like the be all and end all of this franchise. I love the man. The man is tremendous, but it's like, I feel like Candyman was more was worse, the new one, because he was still alive and they fucked him over. So like, you know, there's that. But yeah, this makes sense. Anywho, but Marvel Comics reveal first look inside Predator Badlands prequel introduces franchise's new Yotcha lead deck. But yeah, so if you're curious about the next part of this franchise, non-movie form, then by all means, they hit shelves on November 12th. Very cool. Yeah, probably. Yeah, I would say ignore all the sequels. But yeah. Next up, Pirates of the Caribbean producer reveals whether Margot Robbie-led movie is still happening at Disney. And they said we're working on a script. If we don't have it on the page, it's not going to get on the screen. We had 2 scripts at one point, and then one kind of dropped out, and we kind of went with the other one. And that she's apparently still involved, and they worked on it, and we brought someone else to fill in the blanks. So, yeah, maybe this isn't dead, but maybe Margot Robbie will actually kill it for realsies this time, because Dead Men Tell No Tales was apparently extremely horrible, and pretty much anything outside of Barbie and the first Suicide Squad has been box office poison when you star Margot Robbie, so who knows? But we'll see. But then finally, apparently Kirsten Dunst, she's like, she wants that Marvel money. I mean, when all these motherfuckers say, oh, I'm never coming back to Marvel. Marvel was such a horrible experience. I hated what they did. Well, money talks. Just tell all those comedians that are, you know, riffing in Saudi Arabia right now. But, you know, Kirsten Dunst, she said that potentially returning as MJ in Spider-Man 4, if we ever get a Spider-Man 4, which will probably never happen anyway, but, you know, one man could dream. Me and Toby doing that again, but with kids, and that kid better be Mayday Parker if that were to happen. But she said, I mean, listen, no one asked me about anything, but I do think that, I mean, this multi-universe just keeps going on and on. I feel like that could happen. You know, Max Tomlin did say he was interested, so, you know, I hope it does, but I don't. In terms of like an additional sequel, I would say give me fucking Amazing Spider-Man 3 over Spider-Man 4. At least like Spider-Man 3 had like a pretty conclusive ending. Amazing Spider-Man 2 like left things up in the air, so I'm like, give me more of that. Like, I want to see more Amazing Spider-Man. I want to see more Andrew Garfield, because he didn't get a chance to end his story, while Spider-Man 3 was a pretty conclusive ending. So, you know, but that's me. I don't know if you care, Dan, but
I mean, she was promoting Roofman, which is a great movie, and it's like, you know, she gets asked about this a million times. I'm sure they would want to do it, but I think we're past that point, you know? I think we've already done the whole Tobey Maguire coming back. I don't even know if he's going to be back in Secret Wars. I think if he is, maybe we get Kirsten Dunst like cameo, but that's about it. I don't think we're getting a 4. I don't think
we're getting a 4 either.
It's too late. Like,
especially if they plan to do a reset and like essentially Crisis on Infinite Earths, but the Marvel version, and it's just going to be one Earth, and I can't imagine that they're going to do, if that's what they do, I can't imagine that they'll bring people back. But yeah, but that's it. That is it for Quick Hits. Thanks for watching this side, guys. We have plenty more for you to do, but we're going to be getting into that soon enough. And yeah, but of course we have to be blessed at the beginning and blessed at the end. So James Gunn, why don't you come in and bless this wonderful, wonderful DCU Daily?
It's another project that's been blessed from the beginning.
There's the shot right there. That.
Okay, we don't need to see
right there.
Hey, buddy, eyes up here.
Now you want to get nuts?
Let's get nuts. Here we go.
Victory mine. Ask me how am I doing? I'm telling you, really, I'm doing sublime. I never wait in the stewardess line. I just go do it. I'm moving my time. Really had nothing to do with it. How am I moving? I'm moving like you want to shine. Follow my lead. Don't listen to lies. I had to put me all in the line. That's why I know that victory's mine.
I prefer Jared Leto.
Hunka hunka!
Cool. Welcome to DCU Daily. I am John. Lovely to see you all. I'm happy that you're here with us. Thank you for showing up. But let's get into the real nitty-gritty here, because we do have some things, not all the things, but we do have some of the things for you today. But yeah, I don't know if that makes sense. It made more sense in my head, but that's okay. DC news time. But yes, let's get into it, shall we? The first thing we have that somebody in the comments was talking about, and we'll get into that. We'll bring up their comments soon, but apparently Punisher alum Ben Barnes reveals the role he's eyeing in James Gunn's DCU. So, of course, now a bunch of the people that are one and done have been one and dones in the Marvel Universe now that they have no chance of coming back into the Marvel Universe. They're like, well, let's see what the guys down the street have for us, because I'm interested in that. But apparently, your boy, Ben Barnes, apparently, he wanted to be Batman, because of course he does, because that's what everybody fucking wants to be. Here's the thing, like, it's just, it's just so obvious. Like, at this point, it's just like, oh my god, I am a tall white dude, I want to be Batman. It's like, yeah, fucking so does everybody. Who doesn't want to be Batman? Also, hello, Ron. We talked about your hot takes before, so if you want to take a look at that, you can. Yeah, till Toby's 90. Yeah, sure. But the DCU, lovely. I can't help you there. But yeah, I mean, he does have WB ties. I think here's the thing I think he is a little bit too old now. I think he's like early to mid 40s at this point. Here's the thing, maybe like in like the Becks, I could have maybe seen that a little bit more, but no, that's still too. Maybe like 10 years ago, maybe in like when fucking BVS came out, I could have seen him there, but I think he's just a little bit too old now. Could he do it? Absolutely. I think he would be phenomenal in the role, but I think he's a little bit too old than what they want. But I think he could do it. But yeah, of course, like, everybody wants to be. I mean, James Gunn even said this. Like, so many famous people want to be Batman, and of course, you have yet another person saying, "Oh, hey, I want to be Batman." So they're gonna say it. Everyone's gonna keep saying it because that's who they want, and that's who everybody talks about. Yeah, I think it's just, I would like to just see other, who I could see Ben Barnes as. I think he would be a really good Question. I think he would be a very, very good version of the Question, because he's got the frame for it, he's got the darker vibes for it, and he's a great actor. So, yeah, I think he feels right for this Batman, but I just think he's a hair too old. Nah,
he could work. I wouldn't mind it. I just, like you said, though, maybe. Well, I don't know if the age is gonna matter as much, because he's meant to have like a teenage kid. So, yeah.
No, I know, but like Ben Barnes is, I think, 44. I want to say 44. Boom, right on the money. But yeah,
he's about Robert Pattinson's age, basically. So.
Well, and our Pats is playing someone who's like supposed to be like fucking 27 right now, or however fucking young he's supposed to be. But I mean, and plus Pattinson is 39, not 44 just yet. He's got 5 years on him.
He will be, and then some by the time the movie comes out.
Yeah, he will be when fucking Batman Part 3 comes out. One can only hope. But I cast everyone. Honestly, I could see him as Two-Face as well. I mean, guy who got his face scarred if I had a nickel, if he does become Two-Face. But I could definitely see him as that. But yeah, you know, it's just like everybody wants to be Batman, and of course, like they're gonna say like, "Hey, Batman." But like, it's what it's just like yet another person. I think he would be good, but it's just like be more creative, like. But it's just like the dream role for most men. It's just like, hey, Batman. Something in my back. Oh, my back. Like Toby in Spider-Man 2. Oh, my back. I'm the Bat. Yes. Oh, by the way, Elite EZ. Adam Driver has a new movie with Ron Howard coming back, and I just needed to let you know because I know how much you love Adam Driver. So, you know, just wanted to.
It's Italian stallion, you know.
Just want to let no, we can go back. Hey, there he is. There he is. Easy. This is just for you. Just wanted to show you the greatness of Adam Driver right there because I know how much you love him. So here he is. Look at that face that you love so very much. Ah, beautiful, beautiful. Anyway, so let's go back to the other. Fucking, I hate this thing. Anyway, boom. There we go. Seth Rogen laugh. There we go. Where is it? There it is. Anyway. But no, he does not look 43. Well, 44.
I strive for the day when we get that, but then Seth Rogen's actually on the show. So, like, and we just can reveal.
In a million years, but, like, a man can dream. Well, I don't know. I think that's more of a nightmare, but, you know, it depends on who you ask.
He certainly drives Liz wild.
I mean, he hasn't made anything good since Rush, but, you know, he's trying. Adam Driver him wild. Driving him wild. Anyway, let's move on to the next thing before we spend too much time on this. But apparently, DC's next Batman movie sequel releases in 3 weeks. But I did remember reading about this a while ago, but the Batman Revolution follows on from the 1989 movie, so it's not going to be like Batman 89, the comic book, which was this alternate sequel to Batman Returns, which essentially used all of the ideas that Tim Burton established before Joel Schumacher replaced him for the third Batman movie. This is directly following from the first movie, and it's, you know, it takes place, Batman Resurrection, or is it Revolution? Is it Resurrection? Oh, okay, so it was Resurrection, then Revolution. So, okay, so I thought that's what it was. And I'm like, wait, didn't we hear about this? But anyway, but 35 years after the release of 1989, the film got another direct sequel in the form of Batman Resurrection, which explored the direct aftermath of the movie through the seeming revival of the Joker after his on-screen death, expanding the universe without having to delve into the more controversially received later films. And now that we're getting a follow-up once again, Batman Revolution is due to release on October 21st, 2025, and focuses on the rise of the Riddler, seemingly moving further away from connecting to Batman Forever and Batman and Robin, since it appears to firmly establish its own separate version of the Riddler. So the blurb for Batman Revolution also promises that the Riddler and Batman will uncover hidden secrets about Gotham's past that will have dire consequences for the city's future, suggesting other antagonists and wider plot lines about Gotham and its history would be in the works for the story. So yeah, this is definitely an intriguing little. I think it's a book. I don't think it's a comic book. I think it's a book. Yeah, I mean, well, it depends on who you ask, but yeah. No, I love Ron Howard. It's just like he just hasn't made anything good as of recent. The man's a fucking legend. Like, the thing is, I like, for instance, a buddy of mine is like, "Oh, fuck Ron Howard. He's the most overrated director ever." And it's like, the man made Apollo 13. He can do whatever the fuck he wants and still be a great director in my eyes, purely because of Apollo 13. So fuck off with that shit. Because Ron Howard is, I wouldn't say he's one of the GOATs, but he's not like S tier director, but I think he's like A, maybe even B, like A or B, like maybe like B plus tier director. Like he's up there. Like he's great. It's just like I wish he could be making really great movies nowadays, you know? Okay, less said about that the better. But it's just I wish he was still making great movies because pretty much like everything he's made since then has just been like kind of pretty good or really bad, like any of the Da Vinci Code sequels. But you know, I think oh god, I would love to fucking see that. But Heart of the Ocean was
at least
good.
the Jurassic League didn't get through, John.
Thank fucking god. Fuck that movie. Fuck that shit. Anyway. Caleb, no. Caleb, no. Anyway, don't we have that? There it is.
No.
Caleb, no. Anyway, what are your thoughts on this, Dan? Do you fucking care about this, or are you gonna read it, or?
As a fan of Stargate, you know that when they shut that franchise down, total injustice. I remember reading a bunch of Stargate Atlantis novels, and that kept my story going. You know, the canon in my mind. And so, if you love the characters, I mean, this is a great way for you to kind of live in that world for a little bit longer. But you know, that's mostly what it is. So
that is true. He did give us Bryce Dallas Howard. I don't hate Oz Cobb. I mean, I hate the name Oz Cobb, but I like.
That's a great title.
I like I would say. I like the Penguin. I thought it was better than the fucking movie. So like, you know, I'm just saying, bro. But yeah, this is pretty cool. So I know extended edition kind of stuff, like extended universe. This is the next best thing. So if you want to read this, then by all fucking means. But yeah, love to see it. But the next thing we have is another quick hit in regards to the comics. Hang on, I just need to mute some things because my friends keep talking and I don't want them to be seen on the computer. So there we go. Anywho, but now we will move on. But next, hang on, do we have that? Okay. Next thing. Apparently, DC Comics reveals 10 new crossover variant covers for this November's Batman / Deadpool #1. But apparently, all of so it's just these are just variant covers. These aren't like comics that are actually happening. But Bleeding Cool has shared a first look at 10 upcoming retailer exclusive Batman / Deadpool #1 variant covers, highlighting several Marvel and DC crossovers that fans have long dreamed of seeing. Not all of these team-ups will be featured in the comic itself, but the potential is there with Superman / Spider-Man, Spider-Man / Superman, now confirmed to be released in 2026. But below, we have Catwoman / Magic, Harley Quinn / Deadpool, Black Canary / Black Widow, Katana / Psylocke, Power Girl and She-Hulk, Catwoman and Elektra, Batman and Wolverine, Joker and Deadpool, Lobo and Wolverine, and Batman and Daredevil. All of them really interesting stuff. So here I'm going to zoom out on this so y'all can see it. But these are the variant, definitely really fucking cool variant covers. I would say the Magic one, this one, I would love to see like a comic of She-Hulk and Power Girl, because She-Hulk, as we all know, breaks the fourth wall. So like her with Power Girl would just be fucking hilarious. But yeah, these are all really fucking awesome. Love it. These are all fucking really awesome. Love to see it. Boom. Honestly, oh, look at that fucking art right there. Boom. Perfect. Although my favorite might be Magic and Catwoman. That's just killer right there. Great stuff. But yeah, so if you wanna find anything in regards to variant covers, then yeah. But the Magic and Catwoman one was done by Ben Oliver.
Yeah, that's my
by the way.
favorite too. The Power Girl She-Hulk one is good too. I mean, hey.
Power Girl She-Hulk, and then the next favorite is definitely the like watercolor looking vibes of the Batman Daredevil one. That's definitely really fucking cool. But yeah, hell yeah. Good stuff. So if you want to pick these up, then by all means, go pick them up at wherever they are being sold. Why am I getting so many fucking notifications? I'm not this popular. But hang on a sec. There we go. Okay, so the next thing we have in terms of DC quick, I guess it kind of sort of not really quick hits anyway, but apparently Colin Farrell is talking about Batman Part 2. Apparently it's full of feeling and really sad in parts. Yeah, it's a Batman movie. Of course it's going to be fucking sad as shit. He said it's deeper, it's scary, the stakes are higher, and emotionally it's so brilliant. Matt Reeves took his time in creating an extraordinary story. Really, I'm very excited to see it. So yeah, awesome. Are you excited for the Batman Part 2, Dan?
I mean, not any more than yesterday. I guess we'll see how it turns out. Remember how they talked up?
Magic is an X-Men character. She is the sister. I think she's the sister of Colossus, if I remember correctly. Yes. I think that's what it was. Hold on, I can't spell Colossus. Yes, she is the younger sister of Colossus. And X-Men enemy Mikhail Rasputin. So, yes. She first appeared back in the 70s, but then became Magic in the 80s. But very different character in Giant Size X-Men #1 when Colossus was introduced. So technically, Len Wein and Dave Cockrum created her, but as Magic, Chris Claremont and Sal Buscema created her, and she has like a whole she's like magic-based powers, hence the name Magic. Yeah, mutant. She's in Marvel. I'm pretty sure she's in Marvel Rivals, and she was also in Midnight Suns. So there's that too. Honestly, same. But yeah, very cool to see. But next up, apparently Chukwudi Iwuji says he wants to play Brainiac in the DCU. And honestly, that's, saying something, because it's funny because I said I cast him as a different green alien when we were doing our Martian Manhunter casting, because James Gunn did say that he wants to, bring back Chukwudi Iwuji as a different role than Myrn because he's so good and he loves working with him. So that's why Myrn didn't show up in the flashback sequence in the beginning of season 2. So, yeah, right? Thank God. Fucking someone finally saying they don't want to be Batman. They want to be Brainiac. But I think that's awesome. I could definitely see it, because the High Evolutionary is kind of sort of a little bit similar to Brainiac, except he's not like a scientist. He's more of he is kind of a scientist, but he's like a higher celestial almost-esque being. And, he wants knowledge, not necessarily to use that knowledge for something. He just wants to get all of the knowledge of the universe because, I know in some continuities it's because of the rarity. That's why he blows up the planet, because he's like, now this knowledge is very rare. So there's that. I wouldn't say he was an amazing villain, but it's just like, when he wasn't screaming his head off, he was much better, more chill. Yeah, I think yes, and she was also in the New Mutants movie, but I think he would be awesome as Brainiac. I think he'd be awesome as Martian Manhunter. I think whether it's a green alien, boom, Iwuji would be great. But I don't know if you, yeah, pretty much. But Dan, I don't know if you have any
The
thoughts
High
about this. But...
Revolutionary gave him the best platform to then go and play Brainiac. I think it would be perfect.
Yeah, but I mean, it might be too similar, so he might not want to do that. So let's go green and mean. Sure. But yeah, I think that would be awesome. But now we move from one DC thing to another. But apparently Supergirl got a secret screening and was held for James Gunn's trusted DC stable. So that's quite interesting. But it says here,
Superman,
according to the Hollywood Reporter, Supergirl had a quiet, the Inner Circle had a quiet screening on the Burbank lot with a select group of executives and a few members of James Gunn's trusted DC stable. Anna Guerre also recently talked about the character a little bit. We're not going to be getting to that, but apparently it did get a secret screening. Now, this is coming from the Hollywood Reporter, so that fucking sure as hell means a hell of a lot more than, fucking Jeff saying something about it because he fucking sucks donkey dicks, but, that's neither here nor there. I don't know. I mean, it's not coming out for another 8 months. So I can only imagine that they still have a ton of VFX work to work on, especially now it has probably even more VFX than Superman because it takes place in space and on various alien planets. So, I mean, the super fans of James Gunn might be considered a cult. So Jeff Slither, no, that's offensive to snakes. The donkey abuse. That's saying a lot, but yeah. Dan, what are your thoughts on this? Do you believe this? I know, like, usually Hollywood Reporter can be trusted.
I believe it. I'll be right back. Sorry, I believe it though. Yes.
Okay, cool. But yeah, I agree. I agree. I think this is happening, and this happened, and I think Lobo's riding a green screen potato. All hail Gunn. Sure. But yeah, this is pretty cool. Love to see it. Next up, the final bit of the kind of more of the DC quick hits, but apparently Constantine star Keanu Reeves says another draft of sequel script is complete. Fingers crossed. Yes, I know that he is not British, but hey, you know what? I've heard nothing but great things about Constantine, and I'm sure people would love to see Constantine too. But Francis Lawrence, so they've been talking, Keanu Reeves, Francis Lawrence, and I think another like producer were talking about this and how it's been been in development hell for a while, no pun intended, and they want to try and get this made, and like apparently they have another script. It's Warner Brothers said it was in early stages of development, but still kind of in development hell. But Francis Lawrence had this thing. The truth is, somewhere around the 15th anniversary or something, we did a Zoom meeting, and we all were discussing trying to get it up and going again. And again, we were just more active with it and finally got it past all these hurdles. And so we are now actively working on a script. So it's really not that it's just like, oh yeah, now we think the world is ready for it. I certainly think there is a bigger fan base, and certainly it's become a kind of cult classic, which has been really exciting to see and very strange. But it's something we've always loved. Now we're in a spot where we are actively working on a script. And so we had been thinking about it. We also have been given an R rating on the first Constantine movie when we kind of made it a PG-13 movie and followed all the PG-13 rules. So we're like, fuck it. Let's go and do a sequel and really make an R-rated movie. Give us an R. Let us make a real R-rated movie. So fingers crossed, another draft of the script came in. We're going to take it to the studio and hopefully they like it too. So, I hope this happens because it's, I would like to see a British Constantine, like hence Constantine, John Constantine, but in terms of Keanu Reeves as Constantine, I think that would be pretty awesome, as well as sort of like an Elseworld thing, because I can't imagine that like the character of John Constantine is going to be brought into the DCU anytime soon, unless that Swamp Thing movie gets off the ground. But with James Mangold being the butt lover of Disney right now, and now signing a deal with Paramount, I don't know if that's going to happen anytime soon. But yeah, he still has to prove it. I mean, he is the co-CEO. So, and hey, if the script is great, he will greenlight it. So who knows? I still need to watch it. I have not seen. I've only seen bits and pieces of it. But also, hello, Hosea. Yeah, Matt Ryan did a good job. It was unfortunately ruined by Legends of Tomorrow, but we don't talk about that. But yeah. But yeah, I think this is pretty awesome to see. And now we are going to get into something a little bit more, how you say, peaceful. We're going to be talking about Peacemaker after the big bomb that was left with us yesterday. Oh, wrong one. There it is. But now we are going to be getting into some news in regards to Peacemaker. So, Peacemaker. Loving it. Great episode from yesterday. Now we have only one episode left. And, well, you can get the soundtrack. Apparently now the soundtrack is available on vinyl in a very cool design. So James Gunn said, here, give Peace a second chance. It's now out digitally and vinyl available for pre-order from Mutant. This is what it looks like. It includes Oh Lord by Foxy Shazam. And then, of course, I love that cover art. That fucking cover art is just the fucking bomb. I'm not going to pre-order this, but I'm just saying that art is fucking A+. But the songs that are going to appear on it are Oh Lord, Guest List, Blue Jeans, Dirty Money, Break It Out, A Shot at Redemption, Take Me for a Ride, Forever in One, Fucking My Heart in the Ass, We're Not Going to Take It, and To Get Back to You. And of course, by various different people. Halloween, Steel Panther, Ida Maria, Ammo Track, D. Snyder. But yeah, this is pretty awesome to see. So if you really want and it has 3 different versions. So the Mutant exclusive, the Enjoy the Ride exclusive, limited to 500 copies, and the retail edition, which is just yellow. But if you want to get any of these, make sure to pre-order from Mutant or to find any of the versions you want to see. But HBO Max should upload. He did dig King Shark, yes. But nice color vinyl, looks like a firecracker. I mean, USA, even though it looks more like the French flag, but that's beside the point. Red, white, and blue. Hell yeah. Play it backwards and it tries to sell you a used car. No, it tells you Paul is dead. God, it's for a fucking year. But the first 2 seasons in a bundle, that's a fun idea. Yeah, no, I can't get over that fucking art, man. That looks so fucking good. God damn. Great stuff right there. I would want the vinyl just to look at the art. I don't give a fuck about. I mean, I do have a vinyl player, because I'm not much of a pretentious fuckwad. But you know, I just would just love to want it for the art. That would be awesome. So you know, so if you want to get this, guys, you can get it. Are those last 3 songs the songs from the final episode? There's some of the songs, yes. Ooh, very interesting. So, Fucking My Heart in the Ass, We're Not Going to Take It, and To Get Back to You. Apparently, those are going to appear in the final episode. So, but speaking of the final episode, James Gunn has talked about the final runtime and reveals the truth about Earth X's Augie Smith. We've been, we talked about that a little bit yesterday, but this is from the man himself. But yeah, so we got the 7th chapter, and James Gunn does what he loves to do in response to fans on threads. So he revealed that next week's episode is going to be over 57 minutes long. So I imagine 57 and some change, like 57 and like 20 seconds or something like that. So that makes it the longest episode since the second one, A Man is Only as Good as His Bird, which ran for 48 minutes. So, but he also had time to talk about Augie Smith and how he's actually a decent human being. And he mentioned this on the podcast, which I've been listening to for the past day, but Augie is generally a good human being who is opposed to what the Nazis are doing. But Keith and Chris too, well, I don't know, sometimes the apples fall very far from the tree on both Earths. Augie on Earth X has compassion in a way that our Augie never did. Later reiterating that Augie was anti-Nazi. Unfortunately, he was killed by Vigilante, leaving Keith alive to one day take his revenge on the DCU's Peacemaker for killing his father and brother. Whilst Peacemaker could have taken a deeper dive into Earth X and even pit the 11th Street Kids against the world's Nazi leaders, Gunn instead used the parallel reality to further explore Christmas psyche, which is, I do think that's better, because I think going too far into it would have been fun, and it would have been really cool to show like them like killing Nazis and shit like that. But like this season was more about the character development of Chris. And it just showed the idea of like the grass isn't greener on the other side, but apparently on the idea that he might be the common denominator of bringing horribleness wherever he goes. No, Chukwudi Iwuji is not rumored to play Brainiac. It's just that Iwuji is interested in playing Brainiac. Yeah. Well, come on, it says right here, you could say at the bottom here, spoiler warning for Peacemaker, although no longer Alien Earth, we have to get rid of that, but spoiler warning for Peacemaker, that's always at the bottom ticker. Nobody looks at the bottom ticker. Gotta look at the bottom ticker, guys. Come on now. Dan put so much love into that ticker for no reason, but he does, so
yeah, come on, guys.
To it. Anyway, the final episode is going to be one of the craziest things to witness. Also, hello, Antonio. And you got to listen to Antonio. You don't want to make Antonio upset, so press the like button, guys. Come on now. So Gunn's telling me more and more music movie shows tie-in. I had an ad playing. I thought you had a sponsor. I really hope Peter Capaldi returns as the Thinker. So much wasted potential. I mean, he's dead, but like, it's the canon of like the Suicide Squad's a little iffy, so we'll see. Just opens up a door to bring back everyone. You never know. We got some electrocuted. It's okay, John. No one cares about it. Hey, I care about Alien Earth. Yeah, the last 2 episodes weren't great, but Alien Earth was overall a solid first season. So fuck off. It's okay. You don't have to apologize. Bro heard about his stinker and Dan appeared. It's guys, when the actor says they want to play somebody, that's because that's something that you never do, because that tells you that you're not in the running for a role. I doubt he's going to be picked. Yeah, I agree. I doubt he's going to be picked. I just like all these people keep on saying, I want to play Batman. You try to get a meeting, you don't publicly negotiate. I agree with that. So Alan Richson was case in point right fucking there. He tried to get a meeting and James Gunn was like, no. So Alien Earth, yes, Tony Randall, thank you. Alien Earth, awesome. Last 2 episodes kind of weren't bad, just were kind of mid, but for most of the show, it was good. But yeah, now we move on to the next thing. But Peacemaker season finale teaser finds Chris Smith in familiar surroundings as more multiversal madness ensues. So did James Gunn overhype and underdeliver with this week's episode of Peacemaker? Well, we certainly didn't get to see as much of the show's Nazi-ruled reality as expected. There were still a few surprises to be found on Earth X. So we did get obviously we got a preview for the last episode, Full Nelson, but so we have Chris Smith back behind bars. He thinks he's the angel of fucking death. He just wants to be left alone because the people he cares about keep getting killed, so he just wants to be left alone. So Rick Flag Sr. is now spearheading an exploration of the quantum unfolding chamber's many alternate realities. Argus is after but our heroes don't seem convinced that their motivations are entirely pure. With a vengeful Captain Triumph out there, we bet on things going wrong quickly, and it's still not clear how any of this will factor into Man of Tomorrow. So obviously we'll see. He did touch upon season 3 of Peacemaker. We'll see if we're actually going to get that or not, but it doesn't seem like it's in the cards right now. I wouldn't mind Peacemaker being kind of a 2-part story. So it doesn't seem like Chris will get a happy ending before the show ends.
Hey, Patrick.
The story is rumored to continue in apparently a Superman sequel. So
yeah, I don't know if Chris makes it out of this alive, or if he does, he's gonna be a very different kind of Chris. So yeah.
I think he's gonna be alive because, like, I feel like getting rid of him with now being such a fan favorite character, I think he's gonna make it out because, like, too many people like him. So I feel like doing that, they gotta bring him in there. They gotta keep him because getting rid of him, I think, would just spark too much like hate against him. And plus, who doesn't love John Cena? So there's that too.
I mean, if you can see him,
yeah.
you know.
Anyway, but yeah, good stuff. And as James Gunn says, 1 episode left. Watch every episode of Peacemaker season 2 before the season finale, Thursday on HBO Max. So hell to the fuck yes. So if you have not seen all the episodes, why are you watching this right now? Yeah, let's do that because we don't want to, you know. We'll do that. So boom, no more video so we don't get demonetized. Anyway, but make sure you guys catch up on all the episodes because it's a damn good show. I think it definitely makes the first season look a little bit better in comparison. Not really, but like the season 2 is good. Season 1 is but season 2 is really great. So yeah. Finale's got to take someone out. How about Langston Fleury? He's not really a major character, so like they'll probably get rid of him. I love Tim Meadows, but like but thank you. We appreciate that. This is the multiverse of madness. He's PTSD and needs to get the fuck out of there. Pinstripe suited goon number 2, Alan Richson. Yeah. But yeah, make sure to watch all the episodes, guys. But we have one more bit. Apparently this is saying that episode 7 delivers more unexpected twists on Earth X and a jaw-dropping ending. So this essentially is going into a lot of the stuff on into the episode. I touched upon this yesterday with Robert Patrick giving us the T-1000 stare and just showcasing all the stuff that went through and how the fuck this is going to lead to episode 8, even though episode 8 just kind of, just how episode 7 delivers on all the great twists and whatnot. But yeah.
Dude, I kind of like wish they'd saved Augie, but I'm sure there's an infinite number of them in other dimensions.
Of Augie Smiths that are not dickbags like our Augie, so
Yeah.
But yeah,
maybe a T-1000
good stuff.
Augie.
Peacemaker, watch it. It's good stuff. But that's
I'm not on camera because I'm not sitting in a.
No, he inherited John Cena's powers.
Yeah.
Anyway, Mr. Rogers Augie. Now that would be interesting. But today is but due to the fact that today is Friday, we have a bit of a Q&A session before we head out to Fancast Friday. But we do have a couple of those, not a ton, but some. And so we grabbed some of these, and guys, if you want to have comments appear on the show, then try to leave us more comments. Because yes, we do take your comments from Hot Take Debates, but we also have these as well. So first up is coming from Fatal J. Peacemaker continues to surprise me with how much heart it packs under all the chaos. Episode 7 really showed how layered the characters have become. You care about them even while laughing at the absurd moments. And if Mr. Miracle is being teased, that's a huge win for longtime DC fans. It's fun seeing the DC weave in deeper lore without losing its edge. I agree. I think pretty much the best stuff of both seasons was the character stuff. Like, I think the first season was kind of burdened with like a lot of not great comedy, and that kind of, I didn't like that very much personally, but I like how this one is very much character stuff and then a little bit of comedy, because the character stuff is really, really good here, and how it furthers down the line. So
I mean, but that's what James Gunn is really good at, right? Like, he's always good at pulling that puzzle together. So I do love that. You could see he's really,
the thing is with James Gunn, he's really good at doing the found family and outcast. That's pretty much in literally all of his movies, is the ongoing theme of the outcast and the found family. You know, like with Slither, with Super, with all the Guardians movies, with Superman, with all this. Yeah, it's the found family and the outcast. Like, that's like a constant theme through pretty much all of his directed movies. So, you know, so yeah, I think I agree pretty much with Fatal J's take. So thank you for your comment. But the Harbinger 00 is asking, this is in regards to WB's streak of like the streak of like $40 million domestic openings plus, in regards to having 7 in 1 year. They asked, why is F1 on here? That's an Apple film. Distribution don't mean shit. They get a percentage. Most profit went to Apple. Yes, but it was all about WB produced and or distributed films. So it counts as a Warner Brothers distributed film because it was talking about the box office in terms of opening, and that's usually the distributor is like kind of the main thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think I responded to this comment. It's basically the studio that distributes it gets to count it. Yeah. Even though they got that fee for it.
So
yeah, from Apple. Yeah. But yeah, there you go.
Exactly. Like, just Gunn gets shit on, even though a lot of other directors kind of make similar things over and over again, but like they do it so well, so who cares? But James Gunn does it so well, so who cares? So yeah. So
what's real is family.
Anyway, but this next comment was from the Lazarian, aka the main man 2025, all this other shit. So he was saying, in terms of the Mr. Miracle news in regards to Darkseid being added, because he's the main, not the main man, but he's probably going to be the main villain of that animated series. And Lazarian was like, Snyder Bros are going to be so pissed about Darkseid. 5 different laughing emojis. Yeah, I think I don't think that. I mean, they're already pissed. They're already pissy about fucking everything. They're pissed about like DC's existence. They're pissed about the fact that they still live in their mom's basement. You know, they're pissed about a lot of things. They're pissed about how they've never touched grass ever in their lives. So they're just pissed about a lot of things. So, you know, they're gonna be pissed about this too. As we all know, Darkseid was irrelevant before Snyder. So, but yeah, are they gonna be pissed? Probably not. They don't fucking care. They're just gonna be. They're gonna just fuck off with it. They're just gonna keep rewatching fucking BVS and jerking off to it every day. So it's like whatever. Anyway, now the final person we have, the final comment we have is from Patrick. We have many different Patricks, but I think this is just Patrick, period, and not Olinger, but you know. But they were talking about, I love Peacemaker Season 2 story, so good. The characters, wow, and a Superman character. I think they were talking about either Lex Luthor or Sidney Happerson. I forget which episode I grabbed this from. But yeah, it's great stuff. Love to see it. There he is. Play the clip, Dan.
So,
that one. Yay. But then Pornhub, Snyder 5 ever, yeah. Yeah, it's just fucking going off in the chat. Anyway, but that's it for DCU Daily, guys. Obviously, this is not over. The ride ain't over yet. Speaking of Zack Snyder,
my man,
we are going to be going into Fancast Friday. Give us a couple minutes. We're going to be, although now it's Fancast Saturday, but Fancast Friday, we're going to be talking about Black Panther. So we're going to be talking about Black Panther, who's going to play the next T'Challa after the timeline is reset, and if they want to recast him, because they kind of have a boner for tributing Chadwick Boseman over and over again. So it's just like, we'll see if we get another Black Panther. But yeah, thank you all for watching this side. So give us a couple minutes and we'll be going into I don't know why the music is playing, but yes, thanks for watching. Gonna do Fancast Friday.
Like, subscribe, all the dudes.
Like, comment, subscribe, click the notification bell so we go live, all the stuff, all the different things, all the fun stuffs. We're gonna be getting into Black Panther and all that shit. So stay tuned. Here we go. But thanks for watching the DCU Daily portion of this.
It's another project that's been blessed from the beginning.
There's the shot right there. That.
Okay, we don't need to see
right there.
Hey, buddy. Eyes up here.
Now you want to get nuts?
Let's get nuts.
Here we go. Victory mine. Ask me how am I doing? I'm telling you, really, I'm doing sublime. I never wait in a stewardess line. I just go do it. I'm moving my time. Really had nothing to do with it. How am I moving? I'm moving like you want to shine. Follow my lead. Don't listen to lies. I had to put me all in the line. That's why I know that victory's mine.
I prefer Jared Leto.
Hunka, hunka.
And fuck Jeff